Have you ever wondered what would happen if Hashibira Inosuke never became a member of the Demon Slayer Corps? What if it was Zenitsu who didn't become a Demon Slayer instead of Inosuke? And what if Nezuko became a Demon Slayer instead of Tanjiro? These what ifs will completely change Demon Slayer as we know it. Kicking things off, let's imagine a situation where Inosuke didn't go to Suzumi Mansion, where the trio teamed up for the first time. If this happens, only Tanjiro and Zenitsu will fight against the demons of the Suzumi Mansion. Now these demons are pretty weak, but can they be able to handle it? Well, Tanjiro and Zenitsu are strong demon slayers, and I'm pretty sure that they could be able to beat them. Also, they would be only sustaining more injuries than the original story. As time went by, Tanjiro and Zenitsu went on a mission to investigate the numerous disappearances of demon slayers on Nataguma Mountain. When they were near the mountain, they witnessed an injured demon slayer begging for help suddenly being pulled back into the forest. In a scary situation, would Zenitsu go with Tanjiro this time since Inosuke is not around? Unfortunately, Zenitsu still became frightened and decided to stay at the border, making Tanjiro enter the mountain alone and get separated from Nezuko. There, Tanjiro will face the Mother Spider Demon alone. As Tanjiro fights solo, can he be able to handle it? Well, before that, he will first face the headless monster that is controlled by the Mother Spider. Now this is where things will get interesting. Tanjiro faces the Mother Spider, and unlike in the main series, after some intense struggle, Tanjiro defeats both the headless monster and instantly faces the Mother Spider, but he has more injuries because Inosuke isn't around. With Inosuke gone, Tanjiro continues his journey deep into the mountains and comes across another demon, the Father Spider Demon. But due to his injuries in the previous battle and the fact that he is alone, this battle will be harder than the last one. Facing such odds, can he still defeat this demon despite his injuries? Well, after another long intense battle, Tanjiro was about to lose, but the Father Spider Demon, just like in the main plotline, hits Tanjiro with a log, flinging him far away to another side of the forest. Fortunately, Tanjiro held it off long enough for backup to arrive as he unlocked the Hinokami Kagura in this battle instead of when he fought Rui. As it comes in for the kill, Giyu arrives just in time and finishes off the Father Spider Demon before he continues his search for the rumored lower moon. As he journeys further, Tanjiro encounters another demon. This time he is against Rui. Due to the severe injuries he accumulated after battling two demons, he was no match for Rui. Facing a lower moon, will Tanjiro meet his untimely demise this time? Unfortunately, his plot armor wasn't strong this time due to battling two demons in a row alone. He tried to recall his father's Kagura dance but failed to do so because of his fatigue and wounds. Nezuko arrived, but it was too late. Her brother had already been defeated by Rui. In a fit of rage and anger, Nezuko battles Rui at the same time, unlocking her Blood Demon art. While the same events happened to Zenitsu just like in the main series as he followed Nezuko, but they got separated along the way. As the fierce battle between two demons continues, will Nezuko be able to avenge the death of her brother? Well, she didn't manage to defeat Rui like in the main series, but she managed to hold on long enough for Giyu to arrive. Surprised by the sight of two demons fighting each other, he decided to assist Nezuko as he saw Tanjiro's lifeless body on the ground. He unleashes his powerful water-breathing techniques, finishing off Rui. Meanwhile, Shinobu finishes off the other demons. With the threat gone, the two Hashiras, after an argument between Giyu's conflicted feelings and Shinobu's immense hatred for demons, decide to capture Nezuko and take her to the Hashiras' headquarters to discuss what will happen. As they arrive, will Nezuko be spared here like in the original story? Ultimately, as Tanjiro wasn't alive, it was decided that Nezuko will be executed, ending the journey of our protagonists. As Inosuke didn't join the Demon Slayer Corps and wasn't there to assist our protagonists in their journey, their battles became much harder, resulting in their untimely deaths. If you aren't satisfied with this conclusion, then we have something even better in store for you in the next one. What if Zenitsu Agatsuma never became a member of the Demon Slayer Corps? What if he never met his teacher and continued to be in debt to the loan sharks? How would this affect the main storyline? Here, Tanjiro never even met Zenitsu. He went to the Suzumi Mansion alone as he leaves Nezuko in the box outside to the two siblings. However, the siblings followed him inside because they were frightened of the scratching in the box caused by Nezuko. As the rooms inside the mansion changed, they got separated. Tanjiro was with the girl sibling while the boy was left to wander alone. With danger close, will the boys get killed by the demons? No, because the boy meets Inosuke, who was lost as well inside the mansion. The boy quickly follows Inosuke and then they are ambushed by a demon. As the demon comes closer, can Inosuke defeat the demon like Zenitsu did? Well, of course he does. Inosuke beats the demon while protecting the boy and they both get out of the mansion. There, Inosuke sees the box where Nezuko was placed. He tries to kill Nezuko like in the original story. However, this time Zenitsu is not there to stop him. As he almost kills Nezuko, Tanjiro finally gets out of the mansion and stops Inosuke. With Inosuke calming down, The story would then proceed the same as the original series until the Mugen Train arc. Why is that, you ask? Because on the Nakagumo Mountain arc, Zenitsu got separated from Tanjiro and Inosuke, and he fought a different demon instead. If he wasn't there to fight that demon, then nothing would change because Shinobu will kill that demon in his absence. Moving on, the Mugen Train arc takes a dark turn as Zenitsu wasn't there to fight against Enmu. As the demon uses his Blood Demon art, she puts all the passengers to sleep. As the Demon Slayers wake up, they fight a brutal battle against Enmu as they try to protect the passengers. With everyone's lives on the line, can they beat Enmu this time without Zenitsu? Fortunately, somehow they managed to take him down. However, with the absence of Zenitsu, they didn't save every passenger unlike in the main series. Suddenly, Akaza emerges. He is tasked by Muzan to kill Tanjiro and any Demon Slayer present. Rengoku understands that he is about to face a daunting battle. Despite this, Rengoku remains resolute and prepares himself to confront the formidable demon. The two warriors fiercely clashed, their movements resembling a deadly dance. However, similar to the original timeline, Rengoku is killed by Akaza. With the events of the Mugen Train arc seemingly following the main storyline, the Entertainment District has a grim surprise for all of us. As we go to the Entertainment District arc, Tengen ventured into the district to find his missing wives. However, he was taken aback when he encountered Daki and Gyutaro. Since Zenitsu was not present, the fight was harder than it was in the main series. With Tengen struggling, the fight was brutal and caused extensive damage to the district. Missing a Demon Slayer, will they be able to defeat them without Zenitsu? Well, they managed to defeat them in the end. Unfortunately, Tengen and his wives along with Inosuke eventually fell in battle because Daki only became occupied by Inosuke. Their deaths had a huge impact on the Demon Slayer corps. The events leading towards the Infinity Castle arc would proceed similarly to the main series, until the matchups of the Upper Moons versus the Hashiras. Since Zenitsu and Inosuke are absent in this final arc, do you think the Hashiras don't stand a chance against the Upper Moons? Yes, you are absolutely right. Shinobu would die at the hands of Doma along with Kanao as Inosuke wasn't there to help her since he died during the Entertainment District arc. In another part of the castle, Sanemi was a formidable opponent for the demons. He fought against Kaigaku, the new Upper Moon 6 in the absence of Zenitsu. With Kaigaku's newfound powers, do you think the Wind Hashira can beat him? Of course he can. After all, he is stronger than Zenitsu. After an intense battle, Sanemi won and immediately went to assist the battle against Kokushibo despite his injuries. From here on, the battle will be the same as the main story until the final moments when Tanjiro fights Muzan. With 35 minutes left until the sun rises, the battle against Muzan was coming to an end. Muzan was finally starting to get exhausted thanks to Tamayo's poison. Without Inosuke and Zenitsu, Tanjiro was unable to stop Muzan from walking away to hide from the sun. As the situation becomes dire, will Muzan be able to escape here, making all the sacrifices all for naught? Well, no. Muzan realized that after his last attack, he was too tired to run away anymore, and even if he tried to, he wouldn't be able to outrun the sun. And instead, he just focused on killing everyone in the vicinity before he got disintegrated by the sun. After a fierce standoff, Muzan was only able to kill Tanjiro by turning him to mincemeat before he was turned to ashes himself. Although the story went longer unlike the previous one, it was still a dark ending resulting in many deaths. If Inosuke and Zenitsu leaving were this brutal, then something even more tragic will happen in the next What If. What if Nezuko became a Demon Slayer instead of Tanjiro? What if in the beginning of the story Muzan killed Tanjiro and the others and Nezuko was the only survivor? In this alternate timeline, we will tell how Nezuko became a Demon Slayer and her journey for revenge. After seeing her family get massacred, Nezuko was in a state of rage and despair. As Giyu arrived, he saw the carnage. He saw Nezuko weeping in front of the corpse of Tanjiro. As the crying Nezuko saw him, she immediately attacked Giyu because of her uncontrollable anger, but she was helpless in front of the Water Hashira. Now normally Giyu would kill her here, but what if he didn't? Luckily, Giyu restrains Nezuko, and he tells her what he told Tanjiro in the original story in order to become a Demon Slayer. After this, Giyu took her to Orokodaki for Nezuko to train as a Demon Slayer, and so she became one, wearing Tanjiro's Hanafuda earrings as a reminder of the suffering she felt that day. Nezuko appears next on the Suzumi Mansion arc. In this arc, since Tanjiro wasn't around, Zenitsu will still be groveling on the ground since a girl refused to marry him. Meanwhile, Inosuke, who was trapped inside the mansion, faced the two demons alone. Fighting two demons at once, would he be able to defeat them? Of course, since these demons were weak after all. After a brutal battle, Inosuke finally manages to defeat them, resulting in many injuries. He finally got out of the mansion about to die from the loss of blood when Nezuko saved him and treated his wounds. Moving on, Zenitsu finally met Nezuko and he instantly fell in love with her, and he promised that he will protect her no matter what happens. With that in mind, does he finally enter the mountains along with Inosuke and Nezuko? As always, Zenitsu cowered in fear and decided to stay behind, leaving Inosuke and Nezuko to enter the mountains. Then the same events as the original story would transpire. As they continued walking, this time instead of Tanjiro fighting Rui, it was Nezuko alone. Alone and helpless, would she be able to defeat Rui alone? Well, no. Because the same as the original story, she somehow awakens the sun breathing technique, although a weaker one, without the proper forms. Why, you ask? Because she is a Kamado after all. The sun flows in their veins. Because of this, she just managed to hold out long enough until Giyu finally arrived and killed the demon Rui. After Rui is killed and the Mount Natagumo arc ends, the meeting with the Hashiras didn't happen. So we'll move forward to the Mugen Train arc. In the Mugen Train arc, since Tanjiro isn't here, will the same events unfold in the train? Of course! The same events unfold in the Mugen Train arc as Nezuko, Inosuke, Zenitsu, along with the Flame Hashira Rengoku, kill the Lower Moon 1 demon Enmu and saves all the passengers in the train. Rengoku would die at the hands of Akaza and the trio would go home wounded, where they'll meet Tengen in the next story arc. Moving on to the Entertainment District arc, instead of Tanjiro accompanying Tengen along with Zenitsu and Inosuke, it would be Nezuko instead. As they fight against unfavorable odds, would they be able to defeat the Upper Moons? Absolutely! The same events would transpire with Nezuko, Inosuke, Tengen, and his wives fighting an unforgivable battle against Daki and Gyutaro. As the battle comes to a close, the Demon Slayers would ultimately win. However, it would cost them Tengen's life. Sadly, why did this happen? Of course, as Nezuko's technique is not as effective or powerful as Tanjiro's, it would do less damage to the Upper Moons. The arc would end with another Hashira lost in battle, but they'll somehow even the odds in the next one. As we enter the Swordsmith Village arc, Muichiro and the others would fight against the Upper Moon Santengo and Gyoko, but without Tanjiro's immense firepower, they were struggling to win. However, Mitsuri arrives just in time to join the fight. With backup arriving, would the Hashiras win this fight? Well, they won. But due to the fact that they didn't discover the Demon Slayer mark, Mitsuri and Muichiro lost their lives while Genya along with the other Demon Slayers suffered serious injuries. As the final arc of the story moved forward, the usual things happen. The Ubuyashiki estate is attacked, summoning all the Hashiras and Demon Slayers for the final battle. But this is where things will take a dark turn, because this time there was no poison from Tamayo, since Nezuko never met her, thus Muzan isn't weakened in this fight. Although the Demon Slayers threw everything they had, it was still a lost cause. Why, you ask? Sadly, it is because of the absence of the Demon Slayer mark. Without it, they have no chance at all against the Upper Moons. And the absence of the sun breathing technique, which Tanjiro only knows, makes their chances against full-strength Muzan close to none. This results in them being absolutely beaten by Muzan and the other Upper Moons. Although they defeated some of the Upper Moons, they couldn't beat the Upper Moon 3, 2, and 1. In the end, Muzan absorbed Nezuko, gaining immunity against the sun since even Tanjiro, who became a demon, became invulnerable to sunlight. So we can conclude it runs in their blood. With Muzan achieving his goals, did the demons rule all over the world? Well, no. As Muzan's goal was immortality, he decided that there is no reason to keep all the demons alive anymore. So he killed all of them and decided to live an ordinary life as an immortal being. That's the answer to the 3 what-if questions. If you have your own theories, comment them down below. If you're curious about other what-if stories, stay tuned for our next video. What if Tanjiro, Kamado, and Nezuko never met Giyu?